Ten of Swords in the Minor Arcana. So the Ten of Swords is the card of betrayal. This card gets a bad rap. It's usually for a good reason. But the positive side of this card can be that the fight is actually over. So someone has been defeated. There's a finalization to this card. And so if you've been feeling like something has happened, when this card comes up, you're aware of it. The betrayal has happened. The fight's over. Someone's been defeated. You may be dealing with difficult feelings of pain and loss over an ending or over a betrayal when this card comes up. It indicates that it's a time to completely let go and accept your current circumstances. It tells you to be very careful who you are trusting right now, and it can also represent the end of a betrayal and the beginning of hope, depending on the cards around it. This card can also be about crippling fear that is keeping you from moving forward. On some level, you have decided that things are simply not going to work out in your favor, especially in regards to things that appear to be in opposition, such as finances versus a relationship. The fear of all things falling apart is actually manifesting their downfall. So it's time to create a new story and move towards thoughts of wealth, abundance, prosperity, and love. The element of this card is air. The astrology is Uranus. The numerology is 1. So this card can indicate misfortune, ruin, defeat, loss, failure, pain, total betrayal, rock bottom, and loss of trust. In Leo language, this is the card of being stabbed in the back. So for me, I'm like, you're either coming through a betrayal or somebody is betraying you. So literally, being stabbed in the back. The man's laying there with 10 swords at his back. So the reversal of this, if this card shows up reversed, it can mean that you're refusing to let go, that you're denying failure or loss, that you're in recovery from loss, that you have a momentary advantage in a dispute that you have going on, that you have temporary gain, not to be confused with long-term gain, so it's unstable. It can indicate a rebirth after a betrayal. When you get this card, you really want to get it in the reverse position. So just so you know, for future readings. It can indicate a new beginning after a period of despair. So the symbolism in this card. The man wears gold and purple to show that he was once a wealthy man, although none of that matters now that he's been stabbed in the back. The sky shows either a last glimpse of light before total darkness sets in, or the dawning of a new day. So even though cards have a negative connotation, there's always a dual meaning, right? So this could mean that the worst is over and now he's at the end, right? The end, the 10, now he gets to start anew. The man is laying dead or dying in the car. He's literally laying in a pool of red blood, and that red blood shows that this is a crime of passion. So the man can either be the person who's being betrayed, or he can be the enemy finally defeated. So another interpretation of this card is that you've defeated your enemy. The numerology. This card is number 60 in the deck, and it indicates that it indicates being overly focused on the material world. This is what may be actually blocking us from divine connection. It breaks down to a 6, which indicates focus on accomplishments in the material world. So one of the things I think that's really fascinating about this card is that he's literally wearing this purple cloak that shows that he was once a wealthy man. And it doesn't matter though, now that he's been betrayed or been stabbed in the back, right? And then the numerology of this card connects to the material world. And so often this indicates that there's too much focus being put on the material, and that's what's caused the betrayal. So this card is ruled by Uranus, which is the planet of sudden upheaval, rebellion, surprise, disruption, individuality, and the future. And the zodiac sign of this card is Gemini. So you've got a lot of duality existing inside this card. Alternative interpretations for this card. If this card shows up and your query is about love, you are being betrayed. Something in your current situation is not what it appears to be. If you're looking for a relationship, someone you're considering is not being fully forthcoming about who she or he is. If this card shows up and your query is about work, your current work situation is about to come to an end. It would best serve you to get prepared for the worst case scenario right now. Someone at work may be betraying you. If you're looking for a job, the one that you desired may not be offered to you. Whatever the disappointment, be done with it, move on quickly. If your query is spiritual in nature and you pull this card, you will realize a spiritual belief that's been holding you back. Take a critical look at who you are trusting when it comes to spiritual leaders and teachers if you pull this card. And if you suspect duplicity in any form, it's best to steer clear right now. If your query is about money and you pull this card, you may face disappointment. Someone you expected to come through for you may not have honored the commitment that they made to you. It's a time to learn from the situation, and as you recover from the disappointment, keep in mind this is not a time to take big risks, but it is a time to evaluate your financial situation. Then move on. This card is literally just the card of like, cut your losses and move on to the next thing.